Hello, Rob McNeilly here again, and thank you for joining me again for this third and final in the series of 3 free videos about how we can be more effective in our work, how we can do good work, and reap the benefit of personal satisfaction and professional satisfaction also. I mentioned in the first video this issue of feeling confidence. And the feeling of confidence is something that we all want, we all would like. But I'm offering the idea that we don't get it by pretending, by just putting out that we can do anything, that we are the expert, know it all, and can fix everyone. And offering instead an idea that we can be genuinely confident when we have developed a solid competence in some of the basic elements that are going to be constitutive of any effective therapy. And I outlined 6 what I call essential skills for us, any of us, to do good work, no matter what therapeutic approach we might be using. I was so fortunate to spend time with Milton Erickson towards the end of his life, and he had a major impact on therapy, and not only hypnotherapy, but also brief therapy, strategic therapy, and therapy in general. In fact, I think he changed the whole ground at therapy. He shifted it from a prime focus on understanding the past as causes of the present to looking to the future and seeing where we might want to go with this. To change the perspective from looking for what's wrong with this person so they can be classified and treated towards looking at what resources they might have, what learnings that we could help them with, so that they can be more in touch with their resourcefulness and get on with their life. He told me about a woman who rang him and said that she'd been washing her hands obsessively for 12 years. And he told me, I was very interested to find out from her what she used to do with her hands 13 years ago. It was a very different approach. Instead of trying to work out what was causing the obsessive hand washing, he was just wanting to get her back in touch with who she was, the wider range of options and abilities so that she could get on with her life. And in the previous video, I mentioned the idea of taking some of these skills, perhaps just one at a time, taking for a day or a week or a couple of weeks, a month or something, and just having attention on that particular skill to see what we can notice, what we can learn, what adjustments we can make that can be useful. And in the last video, I spoke about therapeutic relationship, about the benefit of beginning by accepting that someone is where they are, how they are, as they are to begin with. Not to end with, but as a beginning point, to accept the person as a legitimate person as a starting point. And also I mentioned this fascinating skill of listening. And of course, depending on what we're listening for, so we will have very different outcomes. And also the issue of trust. Instead of flipping from naive trust, which always is a demand for betrayal, to paranoia or cynicism where I'm not going to trust anyone, maybe starting somewhere in the middle with some prudence, with got good reason not to trust you, but I'll just see what happens, see if you can earn my trust back again. And also the idea of us leading with trust. So by us trusting someone, to see if that is going to help them to be more trustworthy in relation to themselves and others. And appreciate the comments that have been forthcoming about these issues, what you found helpful in paying attention, what you've learnt in doing that, and the impact that can have on your work. And of course, the invitation is there to just let that continue, where these videos are here and then they're gone. They'll only be here for a few more days. But if you can get the ideas, nothing complicated here, and just play with it. My invitation is to play with it in that way and just see it. Sometimes a small adjustment can make a huge difference. So I wanted to say something today about the other skills that I've outlined. I want to speak about expectancy, about how to connect someone with resources, and this very important issue of self-care. So expectancy. Clients come. Problems are there with a client or with ourselves. Whenever we have a problem, there is a certain mood that comes with it. And that mood is always a variation of resignation. When people are depressed, and they say they're depressed, my observation is that the major component of any depression is resignation. Why bother? Why make the effort? It's not going to work. And of course, if we listen to the resignation, because moods are so infectious, we'll pick it up and we'll start to feel the same way. But instead of us picking up the client's mood of resignation, if we can lead in our mood with a mood of expectancy, so that you just never know what might happen, then our mood of expectancy can start to contaminate a client's resignation and hopelessness and helplessness in a way that they can start to have the possibility of seeing some things that are there that if they were resigned they wouldn't even be bothered looking. It's not a guarantee that they'll find something, but it can open our eyes to the possibility of that. And so that's something that I would invite us all, I include myself in this, to always have that willingness to be curious and wonder. Erickson said that in his experience, a person can be walking down the street, minding their own business, and all of a sudden, a problem just drops on them. You know, we've all had that. We're just going about our daily life, and then suddenly, and we've got a problem. It seems to come out of nowhere. And he said, well, if a problem can come out of nowhere, why can't it go into nowhere? If a problem can come out of nowhere, why can't a solution come out of nowhere? And that attitude, I think, it does a lot of things. It's great for helping a client to be have their eyes more wide open to see what might be there. And it's good for us too. If we're in a mood of expectancy, it's a more up mood, there are more possibilities around with that. So at the end of the day, we're going to feel better for it too. So everybody benefits. And we'll say something about resources. I'm coming back to Erickson again. I don't apologise because I think he had so many useful hints for us to explore. He said that every person has got more abilities than they realise. And I think that we all know that in our own experience. We all know that we've got a lot of capacities that we don't make use of. A few years ago, my wife and I started to learn Spanish because one of my Chilean teachers had written some books in Spanish and I wanted to learn. And we started to learn and we learned a bit, and I've put that aside for various reasons and I've just put it aside anyhow. So my Spanish is very rudimentary. But it's clear to me that I have the capacity to learn Spanish. I'm not defective because I don't speak fluent Spanish. I've got the resource there. I've even got lessons that I could listen to. They're all there just waiting. And if I were to take them up, then I would be able to speak fluent Spanish. And whether I do or whether I don't, the possibilities are there, and that makes such a huge difference. And we all have resources. And the question then is, how can we get to them? I've found a magical direction to look for resources in people. Very predictably useful, sometimes almost miraculously, magically useful. And that is to ask someone, what do you like to do? When we ask someone what they like to do, already they're just in that moment, the mood lifts, they liven up. And it turns out that us humans all like to talk about what we like to do. So asking what someone likes to do can be a beautiful way to begin a therapy session, and a spectacular place to look for resources that might be missing for a client, that they may have become disconnected from, that they may have forgotten, put aside, overlooked, that if they were to reconnect or see them or learn them, they'll be up and running, ready to get on with their life. So the invitation there is to explore with clients, and try it with yourself too. When you think, what do I like to do? And when you explore your own likes, you find there's a mood that goes with that and a lot of resources. It's my experience that any time we have a problem, whatever is missing in the problem is always present in the likes. And whatever is prominent in the likes is always absent in the problem. There's an exquisite relationship between the likes and the problem, and a beautiful way of exploring and finding what's missing in the problem, what's present in the likes, and so that by making that connection, a person can heal and get on with their life. The sixth skill that is going to be so important to us all is self-care. And I've noticed that one of the most useful, prominent, powerful places, ways of accessing self-care is to do good work. When we're doing good work, we're getting good results, clients are improving in their situation, we feel good. When we are in a mood of hoping and we're resigned and where we don't know what we're doing and we're pretending, having to be an expert and so on, boy, do we suffer, and our body feels like it, and we start to think, oh, when's Friday coming? When's the weekend coming? When's my annual leave coming? And we can suffer terribly from that. So just doing good work is one of the most important ways of taking care of ourselves. But there are other ways too, and they include just doing more of what you like to do. If we do something that we enjoy doing, it helps to rejuvenate us. It feeds our soul. It recharges our batteries. So just doing more of what we like to do. And that's an invitation. I'm extending that invitation to anyone watching this. See what happens if you do just a little more of what you like to do, whether it's walking, sleeping, riding your bicycle, swimming, whatever it is that you like to do, reading a book. See what happens if you just do a little more of that. See what that does to your soul. See what that does to your mood. See what that does to you. And all of these skills that we've been exploring, the whole 6 of them, are all interrelated. With the therapeutic relationship, that will be enhanced when we listen to someone. When we listen to someone, that's going to enhance trust. When someone is trusting, they're going to be more likely to be able to access their resources. When they access their resources, they're more likely everybody's going to be taking care of themselves better. So these are all interrelated. And it really doesn't matter where any of us start, but my invitation is again to take one of them and just do a little piece of practicing. Don't make a big deal of it. Just play with a little bit of this and then a little bit of that and see what you can explore, see what you can learn in the process. So as I mentioned in the first video, I've been teaching this work for 35, 40 years. I've been teaching face-to-face workshops, online workshops, writing blogs and so on. Anything that's going to let more people know about this spectacular way of working and help to take care of themselves too. So I think doing good work is going to be something that's going to benefit everybody. So I'm putting together a new online program, and anyone's interested, I'll let you know about that in a few days. But these videos are offered humbly to you as just a somewhat distilled summary of some of what I have discovered in my teaching and what my students have taught me in our shared learning about what can contribute to the effectiveness of our work, to our clients' well-being, and to our well-being. So if you've got any more comments, I'd love it if you just leave another comment about what you found helpful about this, what's still missing for you, just some comment. I'd really appreciate that. And thank you for the generous gift of your time in listening to and watching these videos. And I'd love to hear from you about anything that's relevant to this, what you've learned, what I might have missed out, what huge holes in what I'm saying you've noticed. But in particular, thank you for being willing to be part of this, and I wish you joy and satisfaction in seeing what you can do with some of the ideas that I've been sharing with you. So thank you.